Twitter used to be a pretty fun site, full of a variety of people to share their thoughts and scream vitriol into the void. While it's never been a perfect online space, arguably there's never been a perfect online space, Twitter has definitely taken a rather drastic and alarming downward spike into the truest realms of hell, where the most depraved and vile pieces of garbage are able to flourish and thrive. Thanks for monetizing rage bait. The situation covered in this video is very old news by now, but this is another niche topic that didn't get as far a reach outside of the generalized sphere of which it happened in, similarly to the situation revolving around that enamel pin artist that I discussed before. This situation, though, is even more strange in my opinion, where in the enamel pin scandal with Nine-Tail Pins, it had some semblance of reason behind, the actions that that artist took. There doesn't really seem to be any tangible reason behind the events I'm going to be discussing here. So a lot of this is going to be what I hope is relatively harmless speculation on what I think unfolded. Hey there, I'm here to interrupt your regularly scheduled entertainment. Every art program out there has its dedicated user base and ride-or-die fans, even the programs that have been arguably cited as being pretty bad by a lot of the more top-notch professionals out there, like GIMP and Fire Alpaca, for examples. Those programs work in a pinch, they're free and easy to access, and they get you used to the concept of digital art, but don't seem to be the kinds of programs to continue with long-term if you're going to be working as a professional in any sort of, manner. At least in my opinion. But even saying that, it could upset someone whose favorite art program in the entire world is Fire Alpaca, and they would go to the ends of the earth to inform me of how wrong I am, and how that program is actually the most amazing thing ever. Everything has its fan base. While some people think it's one of the most bare-bones basics of art programs, MSPAINT is another art software that has a pretty hardcore user base, which I can't say is altogether unexpected, especially considering that the program has been around since 1985. Despite its simplistic nature, I do actually think that MSPAINT is one of the best programs around for making amazing pixel art. In addition to just being able to make awesome illustrations, there's also groups of people who just enjoy the aesthetic of having a retro vibe to their images by including the MSPAINT toolbar with their finished pieces. Sometimes this is absolutely a flex, a way of bragging to everybody that hell yeah, I made this amazing picture with this program that digital art snobs tend to mock and belittle. But beyond bragging rights, of course, it does boil down to just this looks cool for many artists, especially with how many artists just make pixel art not even on MS Paint but make a background that kind of looks like MS Paint. Honestly, it's not that deep, and it shouldn't have been that deep. But this video wouldn't be as long as it is if it wasn't. So, in 2023, something rather odd happened to one artist specializing in creating art in MS Paint. The Twitter user, Hikachu, was posting their images into their timeline as usual when their post apparently hit the algorithm in just the right way to land in front of the wrong audience. It apparently started when they started, quote, retweeting responses to people who were poking fun at people including the MS Paint toolbar in their images, with one quote tweet saying skill issue and another having, a drawing in the center with a bunch of toolbars surrounding the character and things like that.
It all started with this meme, and I said skill issue. I don't think it was because they said skill issue.
As far as their normal art went, they weren't posting anything super outlandish, right? Their pictures were just pretty tame from what I've seen, and honestly on par with what I would expect from someone practicing with MS Paint. But one particular day, they started receiving comments about how obnoxious it was that they were including the MS Paint toolbar in their post.
I hate this artist because they always take time to screenshot their art with the MS Paint bar. So I ask, why does this make you hate me? Because, I obviously thought it was a very silly reason to hate me. And then it kind of blew up. And then a while after this, another person posted something similar. And so I replied to this tweet I said, who cares? Players get toolbarred.
Pikachu assumes that this was due to their quote retweets that I mentioned before. When you get weirdos commenting on your stuff, especially on Twitter, post Muskrat takeover, you might be tempted to be kind of sassy and rude to them, defend yourself a bit from people who are obviously trolls, clap back, if you will. It's something you see all the time online, so it's really not that weird or strange that Pikachu commented back to people's attempts at trolling them. This exchange was also, all things considered, fairly polite and to the point, and in a sane world, it would have just been the end of the situation entirely. But, of course, it's Twitter, so obviously things got horrifically worse. This is where a lot of the speculation tinfoil hat talk comes out, because it's unclear what transpired for this next section to even truly happen, either stemming from the original commenter, a friend of theirs, a parasocial fan, or maybe an entirely unrelated third party who just casually stumbled across the post, again, completely unsure, but somebody out there saw this interaction and decided to dox Pikachu. Pikachu does state that they don't think that the doxing campaign started with this original commenter, showing a DM of what we, the audience, can only infer as one of the commenters being alarmed that the situation was even escalating to this degree.
I wasn't actually fighting with this person. I just thought it was a funny way to reply to these kind of comments.
The harassment started with someone trying to change their passwords on all of the accounts, signing their email up to a ton of junk websites, including a lot of NSFW things, just completely flooding her email with notifications.
I went to sleep and I woke up in the middle of the night and I look at my phone and there's a lot of notifications from my email and a lot of spam emails and a lot of password requests, a lot of verification emails from Microsoft, Steam, Ko-Fi, PayPal.
The spam got so intense with someone trying to hack her PayPal account that they had to eventually just deactivate their original account and open a brand new one.
So it never really stopped. I was getting a lot of PayPal notifications. I was getting a lot of PayPal verification codes. So I terminated my PayPal account and I'm using another one.
Pikachu themselves has mentioned that they don't know how the Doxxer got their personal information, but the Doxxer eventually dropped Pikachu's name, address, and even pictures of them, which obviously is pretty fucking terrifying, especially since some of the messages Pikachu was receiving were things like, "Bitch, we are coming for you," "Set aside funds for your mother's funeral," and Discord messages including graphic videos of animal cruelty.
A few days ago, like 3-4 days ago, I received these DMs with my full name and unlisted video from another YouTube account. It's not this one. It's a new YouTube account I never shared with anyone. So that was a bit scary. Then yesterday afternoon, I received a friend invite, and I accepted it because before I set an Ko-Fi account, people were messaging me through Discord to commission me. So I thought, well, this is a commission, right? Are you a female? And I was like, okay, this is not a commission. No, who are you? And then he sent me a very shocking video with "kill yourself with your toolbar."
It's just an incredibly, severely disproportionate reaction to this kind of ridiculously petty situation. Remember, this is about someone making anime girl faces in MS Paint and including the toolbar in their screenshots. I wish this was resolved with Pikachu just reporting the docs on Twitter to have it removed and then living their best life, but things progressed from there as Pikachu states that Twitter didn't make moves to remove the docs nor punish the person who doxed them because the docs was quote-unquote disguised as a nice message to them, so Twitter didn't view anything wrong with the content.
I saw a comment with private information of me. I couldn't take it down because it was a comment that it looks like a kind message. If Twitter support looks at it, but it's not because my actual info is in the middle of the message, masked as something cute, when it's not, so sure didn't see anything wrong.
I have to wonder if the person who started this was someone who had maybe previously commissioned Hikachu in the past, or a scammer who attempted to. Sadly, a lot of artists who attempt commissions don't censor their names in their PayPal profiles, and many more artists don't even know that they can censor their personal information on PayPal. This, of course, depending on if they even accepted commissions through PayPal, which I assume with a PayPal they probably did. Which, for the record, a reason why a lot of artists don't know how to censor their names on PayPal is because they don't use the invoice feature. They tend to accept money through, like, the friends and family transfer, which is against their TOS when exchanging goods and services. So don't do that. Just set up a business account and do transfers through invoices. Okay, thanks. Hikachu says that she doesn't know who is the one that started this harassment campaign, and I don't believe that they have mentioned anything about a group of people either, even though that is a very distinct possibility. Despite the rather horrifying harassment she was receiving for the most fucking nonsense reasoning of all time, Hikachu assured her audience that she was just going to keep doing what she was already doing, drawing in MS Paint and posting pictures of her art with the toolbar. While this was all happening in just the online sphere of harassment, Hikachu uploaded a YouTube video detailing what was going on with the situation and their feelings regarding what was being done to them, which boiled down to them being very confused over why this was actually happening to them. And within this video, they detailed how they didn't see a purpose in calling the police and reporting anything because they believed that the police just wouldn't do anything at all to help.
The thing is, where I live, you just can't do it. Like, I mean, you can't, obviously, but it's very, very hard for them to actually take it seriously. And no, they cannot know where the Doxxed is. They can't do anything about it. You know, we can get threats all the time on the internet. Here, people don't really care if you get threats on the internet. A common thing to say here is the internet has no laws.
I think it's kind of sad that this is just kind of a universal truth for a lot of small creators online, regardless of what country they live in, but I still think that they should have tried to make a report so there was some sort of paper trail in the event that the people harassing them were ever, like, uncovered, and there would be, like, a place of origin to point to if any lawyers needed to get involved. I also think that it was an extremely bad move on Hikachu's part to outright just say that they weren't going to do anything law enforcement-wise about the situation. No doubt this emboldened the people harassing her, because exactly 1 month after uploading that YouTube video in which she states that there's no point in contacting the cops, someone mailed to her house a box full of what appeared to be doggy diapers with smears of brown substances on them and a serial killer style ransom message that told her to stop posting the MS Paint toolbar and called her a slur. I personally think cyberbullying is already abhorrent on its own, an act that serves absolutely no function to society at large. If you need to be mean to someone for some cathartic reason, load up an RPG, hit your villagers in Animal Crossing, scream at a reality TV show, but horrifically and endlessly harassing a stranger online is absolutely peak loser behavior, and I'm disgusted that this has been so normalized and even rewarded online in forms of engagement-based monetization, especially on the original site for this entire fucking mess, Twitter. But beyond online cyber harassment, bringing shit into the real world is an entirely new level of deranged and psychotic behavior that needs to be abruptly punished. I'm devastated that this happened to Hikachu, especially over something as unserious as posting an art program's UI. I cannot even fathom spending money on shipping a box full of garbage to someone. It's just lunacy. Imagine the disposable income. Unless, of course, they drop the box off to Hikachu's home themselves, which is even more terrifying. Despite this, Hikachu remained strong through it all and continued to post their art just the way that they enjoyed it. She made a statement somewhere through this fiasco of the steps that they were taking to counteract the doxing a little bit. And that was to, like, move homes, change her legal name, and other drastic measures, but entirely necessary for someone this dangerous. I wish I had a more positive conclusion to this story. I don't even know if the harassment ever truly stopped for Hikachu or not. A few months after the package was delivered to their home, Hikachu reposted the meme that they believed could have started all of this with the statement that they'll continue to post the MS Paint toolbar with their art as long as it pissed people off. They went on to posting art as usual, but this kind of harassment very rarely goes away all at once. I have no doubts that they still occasionally get hate DMs targeted at them due to this entire toolbar shit show.
Still getting those emails. I did today and I did yesterday, and it never really stopped.
But Hikachu has stated that they were going to just start ignoring their DMs because they had no way of vetting if someone was generally being nice to them or tricking them before turning into a troll.
Thank you for watching this. A lot of people were DMing me nice stuff, and I couldn't answer them because, I don't want to get jump scared with shocking videos.
Hikachu stopped posting on Twitter in July of 2024, with their final few posts being from a hospital room. Previously, they had mentioned needing a surgery for a quality of life improvement, but assured that it wasn't anything life-threatening, so who knows. Maybe they just got sick of the harassment fueled by the most hateful of souls on Twitter and moved to a different platform under a new username. Who knows what ended up happening to them. I just hope that they're okay wherever they are and they're living their best life away from all of this mess. All I know is that Hikachu never deserved any of this over posting the MSPAINT toolbar with their artwork of generic anime girls. I wanted to make a call to action, maybe donate to Hikachu's Ko-fi page or something, but since they've been MIA for over a year, I'm not sure how much good that'll end up doing, and I definitely don't think that we should be trying to track her down to show support in the likely event that she just changed usernames. For now, I guess we could just sympathize from afar until they're ready to come back online. I guess the overall conclusion to this video is always be cautious online. It's honestly never a joke when someone talks about cybersecurity. When I was a kid, it was drilled into me and all of my peers to never give out personal information online, but so much of our personal information is honestly required to function online that it becomes difficult to ensure the wrong people won't get a hold of it. It's truly alarming just how often I see kids nowadays posting personal details all over the internet, thinking that they exist in a void, and I'm simply begging them to stop. You don't need to put your age in your bios, or triggers and health diagnoses. All of this just makes it easier for someone more tech-savvy than I am to find you, and for something like this tale to potentially happen to you. Please be safe online, and don't put your life in danger. You do not exist in a void, no matter how little attention you think you garner from social media. Even one person viewing your profile could be dangerous to you. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more. What are some tips you might have to remaining safe online? This video, like all of my content, is brought to you by Patreon, so thank you so much to Ippo, Alec, Mel, Zomboy, and Chrome for subscribing. If you want to support me on Patreon, tiers start as little as $1 a month. Follow the link in the description, I promise it's safe. That's all for now, this is Finn, signing off, until next time.
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. 'Cause I can't move on till I let go.